Buying a home can be super exciting, but it also can be really overwhelming. And here's a few things and tips that I want to make sure that you know about, not to scare you, but to warn you when you go into the process that you don't get overwhelmed. I see hundreds of buyers that I've helped over the last few years not struggle with getting qualified or making an offer on a home, but where they struggle is during the inspection. They miss out on a property because they overcomplicate it, and or just really feel overwhelmed in the process because they don't understand how things work. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you all of the above. Mistake number one, and this is one I see time and time again: making the first offer thinking you can fix it later with negotiation. So what I mean by that, I have so many buyers come in and they want to just test the market or test the offer by coming in lower than asking with concessions, sloppy, confused. There's so many different things that you can take into consideration, but what I can tell you in my years of experience is a seller is looking, and a seller's agent for that fact, is looking for a qualified buyer's agent that can over communicate, a lender that's going to give them a call immediately after the offer is submitted, and more importantly, a well-written offer with strong terms, tight deadlines, and more importantly, someone that is gonna get to the closing table. And better yet, when you're in the house touring, look around and make sure there's not cameras, because there's nothing worse than when you walk out of a house and you talk mad shit about it, and then you go to make an offer on it and the seller knows exactly what you said and you're starting off on the rough foot. So let's start off with the positive and make sure that we get you accepted the first time and start the transaction off with a positive experience. Mistake number two, and I saw this one a lot in 2025. Buyers think that price is the most important negotiating factor. And I can tell you 9 out of 10, that actually is the least important to a seller. We come in all the time with buyers and they think that they want to offer a certain number for the price. But what I can tell you, if you come in with a low price and terms on all of the things, excuse my language, it's gonna be a disaster of a transaction. But if you come with a lower price and it's justified by quick closing, tight inspections, really incredible agent, a lender that's on board, there's so many other factors, and more important, the confidence of the seller that has in the buyer to know that they're gonna get to the closing table. Mistake number three, and this one is a huge one: buyers not understanding the difference between being pre-qualified and totally underwritten. So let me tell you, a buyer can go get pre-qualified in literally 2 seconds by pushing a button and filling out an online application through your banker, and you'll get a letter that says you're pre-qualified. Well, it's more important to get underwritten by an actual lender, which means submitting your W-2s, your tax returns, your bank statements, and getting a whole overview picture of your entire financial, picture in whole, because then when you're going to make an offer, that lender can go to bat for you and tell you that you're actually qualified to buy the house, and it gives you more confidence going in and knowing what you can afford. Mistake number four, and I'm sorry, but this is probably my favorite or least favorite: using inspections for leverage, not negotiation. So inspections are for health and safety. I hate to break it to you, but you cannot nitpick somebody on cosmetic things or things that you don't like, as far as paint colors, chips and floors, all of those things. So many buyers come in this market and really think they're gonna stick it to the seller with those, items that they don't like. Let's stick to the health and safety items, because I promise you later on when you go to sell, you're probably gonna remember that, and I think you're gonna want the same treatment that the seller would ask for on that side of the transaction. Mistake number five, and this is why I got into real estate: so many buyers let emotions drive the decision. So one thing that I say is extremely important when I'm working with a buyer is this is not an emotional decision. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial, if not the biggest financial purchase you will make in your entire lifetime. So if I were you, I would make sure not to get the emotions in the way, make it strictly financial, strict on location, and make it a 5 or 10 year, or whatever the year line game plan is, because you have to have a strategy, because resale is everything in real estate. Mistake number six, and I'll wrap it up from here: when waiting is the natural choice. I have so many people that are gonna wait for the housing market to crash, are gonna wait for interest rates, they're gonna wait for this and this and that and that. I can tell you, waiting is one thing if you're not financially ready to buy a home, but when you're waiting for the perfect storm, I can promise you it does not exist. So you have to jump in when it's right for you, but let's talk about why you're actually waiting. Okay, you guys, I hate to tell you a quick little story, so I'll keep it short. I recently got a buyer from a past client who had worked with another agent for over 2 years. When I initially met her, we chatted on the phone and she kind of told me what happened. And there was a lot of red flags, but she was a first-time home buyer. She didn't know better, and shame on that other agent for going in and giving her that experience, because that is the worst thing you can do coming to a transaction. But what I wanted you to get out of this story is, when you have a buyer's agent that knows what they're doing, that can negotiate, you can be the most ready buyer in the world, but if you don't have a team member or a person that's gonna hold your hand to get you over the finish line, it won't matter. So this agent, for whatever reason, didn't work out after 2 years. They offered on several homes, lost out time and time again. So this time around, when I met her, she was ready to buy. I actually got her pre-qualified and underwritten with my preferred lender. We met in person. We had a great conversation about the things that hurt her in the past and what I would suggest to avoid in the future. And I can tell you, we went on the market, and the first house she looked at, she offered on, and we just got her under contract today, which is so incredible because she spent 2 years, multiple offers, and this time when she hired me, we looked at one house, we made one offer, we got it accepted, and I can guarantee you it was a much better experience this time around because you actually had someone that was qualified to get you over the finish line. I'm Kayla Schmitz, the Aspen Collection. There are so many mistakes to avoid in this real estate game, but what I really want to do is be a partner for you in making an offer, and more importantly, a friend, because a friend wouldn't let their friend make a bad real estate decision. They would help them, they would hold their hand, and let's get over the finish line together.